When I want to represent a statement, let's say that I've got the statement, it is raining. If I want to refer to that statement a bunch of times, I can represent it with a variable, and I'm going to use a lowercase letter, and I'm almost always going to start at P. We've got P, Q, R, S. Those are pretty common letters to use for statements. So it is raining is this statement P. What if I had another statement? What if I had the statement Bob is late? Well, if I want to refer to that, maybe I'll give it its own letter, and it can be Q. I've got the statement P is it is raining, and the statement Q is Bob is late. So in this context, when I refer to P, I'm saying it is raining. When I refer to Q, I'm saying Bob is late. Now, let's talk about the negation of a statement is the statement that makes the opposite assertion. Okay, to be the negation of a statement, it has to have the opposite meaning. We symbolize the negation of P as this symbol and then P. That's a tilde. If you look at your keyboard, it is way in the upper left-hand corner below escape on most keyboards. Negation of P is that symbol P, and generally we'll read this as either not P or the negation of P, or it is not true that P. Okay, so whenever I've got that tilde, it's implying I've got the negation of a statement, and I'm going to read that as one of these guys. Not P, the negation of P. It is not true that P. Well, what does that look like? So let's say I've got a statement, P is, it is raining. Well, then what is the statement not P, or the negation of P? Well, I want to make a statement that says the opposite of it is raining, and I think the easiest way to do that is to say it is not raining. We need to be careful here when we're negating, because it's tempting to say something like perhaps it is sunny, or it is not cloudy, or something. But we really need a statement that just says the exact opposite of the one that we had, makes the opposite assertion. Using the word not is almost always how we're going to get it done, because it's easy, right? It is raining, the negation of that, it is not raining. Okay, I had my statement Q was Bob is late. So the negation of that, not Q, would be Bob is not late. Okay, I don't want to say early because perhaps Bob is on time. Not late is just the cleanest way to negate it. It makes the exact opposite assertion. I don't need to make any other assumptions. The negation of late is not late. Let's just do one more. What if the statement R is today is not Friday? Well, the negation of that, well, the negation of today is not Friday, I think should be today is Friday. I don't really want to say today is not Friday, just because our language gets a little bulky that way and our statements start to get kind of weird. I could say it is not true that today is not Friday, but again, I know that the opposite assertion is today is Friday, and I think that's the easiest and clearest way to say it. So that's what I should have for the negation of are. Quantified statements are a little trickier to negate, but we'll talk about those in a different video. This one I just wanted to get the basics of what is a statement, how do I symbolize statements, what's a negation, and how do I symbolize negations.